Chairman Frost, Chairwoman Gladden, members of the committee, thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk with you and to testify on this very, very important issue. As a free and diverse people of many faiths, we choose to be governed under the law by certain fundamental principles or beliefs. Among them, the belief we share in the dignity of every individual, a belief we share in equal protection of the law for every individual, and a belief in the free exercise of religion without government interference. The very reason, in fact, for our state's founding was for religious freedom. And at the heart of religious freedom is respect for the freedom of individual conscience. The way forward, the way that we sustain and enhance our common life together, is through equal respect for the freedom of all. We all want the same thing for our children: the opportunity to live in loving, caring, committed, and stable homes protected equally under the law. It's not right, and it is not just, that the children of gay couples should have lesser protections than the children of other families in our state. Nor would it be right to force religious institutions to conduct marriages that conflict with their own beliefs and their own teachings. As you know, we already recognize civil marriages performed in other states and just over our border in the District of Columbia. The Civil Marriage Equality Bill that you consider today draws upon the lessons that we have learned from these other states. This bill balances equal protection of individual civil marriage rights with the important protection of religious freedom for all. And because it protects both of these unalienable rights, it is supported by a broad coalition of Marylanders, which includes clergy, community leaders, faith-based organizations, civil rights groups, and those who hold the most important title of all in our democracy, and that is the title of citizen. In conclusion, the common thread running through each of the issues that we are addressing this session, indeed that we have addressed throughout our history, is the common thread of human dignity. The dignity of work, the dignity of faith, the dignity of home, the dignity of every family in our state, the dignity of every individual, the dignity of a free and diverse people who, at the end of the day, all want the same thing for our children. Thank you very, very much for your time.
Thank you, Governor. Senator Stephens has a question.
Thank you for coming here today, Governor.
Thank you,
We
Senator.
appreciate it. Could you explain a little bit about the religious protections that you see in this bill this year as compared to previous years, and how this further protects religion?
Sure. We drew upon the bills that were passed in other states. We have put additional language and made more explicit the protections for religious freedom and for religious leaders. In fact, I think the language with regard to leaders is some of the new language that is in this bill.
Okay. Yeah, I think everybody recognizes that there's been commentary the last week or so that probably hasn't been beneficial to the legislative process. And I just wanted to know, how do you feel about those people that believe very strongly in traditional marriage between a man and a woman?
I think that's their right.
What do
And
you
this
say to
bill
them?
endorses no religious denomination, it endorses no religious teaching, that there is a separation of church and state.
No, I wasn't asking that. I was asking to those people that hold to traditional marriage, not necessarily because they're religious people.
Right. Well, they certainly have that right. I mean, we're a free people, and whether we want to recognize it or not, we live in a religiously pluralistic state, in a religiously pluralistic country. And not all of us subscribe to the same faith or the same organized religion. Certainly those that do are absolutely free to follow that.
But of course, there are people that it's not because of their religion. They just support traditional family. It has nothing to do with religion.
And that too is their right.
Okay. You mentioned that we honor civil marriages from other states, and that should be a reason why we do this. That was never enacted upon by this legislative body. That was more of an opinion by the Attorney General.
Sure was. And that is what we do today.
Governor, it's been an honor to have you.
Thank
here.
you, Senator.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, Madam Vice Chair.